5.
Welcome to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the show that brings you man-on-the-street interviews, celebrity guests, groundbreaking research, and heartwarming stories about the reasons we smile. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but were too numb to ask. Hello, I'm General Dentist Dr. Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the great shows that previously aired, log on to thereasonswesmile.com or iTunes, keyword Dr. Kvitko or The Reasons We Smile. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Call 459-9769 to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Reasons We Smile. I'm Dr. Kvitko. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is show number 604, and today we are bringing you a show entitled An Upward Look from Down in the Mouth. Okay, an upward look from down in the mouth. Before we get started, let me remind you, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko. And if you'd please go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. Also, all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com, and we are streaming live on Facebook. Okay, so I want to mention the Crew versus Cincy game from last night. It ended in a tie. Very exciting game. Unfortunately, I don't think the Crew got enough points that they're going to need to get into the playoffs, but we'll see. Sellout crowd, though, so that was pretty cool. Also, in about 10 minutes, we're going to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. You're going to have a chance to win free flowers. They'll be from DeSantis Florist, and they'll be, if you listen at all, you're going to be able to get the correct answer. I try to make it easy for you because I know it's early. All right? So, anyway, all right, so let's see now. Like I said, what we're going to do is an upward look from down in the mouth, and basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the kind of things that we did last week, all right? The kind of things that came into the office and what kind of things that we typically have to deal with, and not have to, but get to deal with. And some of them are interesting, I think, and so, you know, for example, we do 6-month smiles, okay? 6-month smiles is what it says it is. It's a system of doing orthodontic straightening teeth in about 6 months. Every once in a while it's a little longer than 6 months, but more often than not is less. Our cases tend to take 4 or 5. And this is real tooth movement, folks. It's not just a slogan, you know. It's really neat. And people, I don't think we've ever had an unhappy 6-month smile patient. If we have, they hadn't said anything to us. So anyway, so we have this woman that we're working on 6-month smiles. She's in her, I believe she's in her 70s. And her teeth were pretty bad. The kind of bad that when she would smile, somebody would say, "Gee, I wonder why she never got her teeth straightened." Well, the answer is you know, her parents couldn't afford it. Maybe too many children to be able to afford it, or it just never crossed their mind. Didn't grow up that way. And so we're almost done. I mean, it's looking really nice. And you know, I really like doing the 6-month smiles because in most cases it gives people the smile that they've always wanted but didn't have. Sometimes they don't know that it can be done in 6 months or less. That's kind of the biggest thing I'm finding out, is a lot of people would get their teeth straight if they knew that it could be done in such a short time period. And so, yeah, we're almost done with her, and we finished up another young lady, and we're finishing up another young lady on Monday. And it's just really neat to see their before and their after photos, you know, and to see them smiling and very happy. On the same day, though, we actually had another young lady in where we finished her 6-month smiles, her orthodontics. And we put a permanent retainer on. And what we do is we put the bonded wire on the back of the teeth so you don't see it, but we also make the person a hard plastic mouthguard type of retainer that they wear at night. And between the two, we are in good shape. You know, the teeth don't shift. As long as people wear that, the teeth stay that way, and they have that beautiful smile forever as long as they, you know, do their part. Okay, so anyway, there's one story that I want to make sure I get to because it's going to be Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. And I have to, let me just see if I can find it. It was, let's see, oh, okay, yeah. So I got this phone call, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm an early riser. I tend to get up early, and I don't know. I guess I just can't sleep in. There's always a lot on my mind. So I got this page from my answering. I was actually it was an email. Got an email, and this gentleman, he was having pain. Now we had seen him for. Actually, the story is this: he tried to extract his own tooth. He had this tooth that was bothering him, and he thought he got it all out, but after a period of time it started to hurt, and so he finally decided to come in, and he called, and he was in quite a bit of pain, and so he called the answering service at about 5 in the morning, and I called him right back, but I didn't get him. I don't think he thought he would get a call right back. I don't know if he went back to sleep or what he did, but I called him, I sent him an email, I texted him, and I didn't reach him, but he did actually call back in about, I don't know, I think he called at about 6 o'clock or something, an hour later, and we got him in that morning. I knew that if he had an urgent issue, I needed to get him in right away, and so we got him in, and it's going to be important to you to remember that the early morning email that I got from him was at 5 a.m. So at 5 a.m. he emailed me, and I called him and didn't reach him. But anyway, I kept trying. I tried 3 different ways, and like I said, about an hour later, he called me back. So what it was he tried to extract his own tooth, thought he had gotten it all, but he didn't. And so there was another piece or two up in there, and it was hurting probably more than before he tried to extract it. I don't know why people do this. I think they do it maybe for multiple reasons, but one might be that they're afraid of the dentist. They've had a bad experience, and somehow they think coming to a dentist is going to be worse than, pulling your own tooth, which I wonder about, because we have anesthetic, and people typically don't. The closest they can get, it seems, is alcohol. Well, and it could be that people don't have the money, but if you don't see a dentist when you need it like this, sometimes it winds up being an even more expensive proposition, because you get an infection, you can get sepsis, you can wind up in the emergency room, and that's even more expensive. But anyway, so he called me back at 6. We got him in right away that morning. I'm trying to remember what time it was. I think we started him at 7. I think we had him come in at 7, which is why I wanted to reach him quickly, by the way. So I wanted to get him in, and so anyway, we did, and we got him in, and we got it taken care of. We had to remove not only their tooth root, or actually he thought he'd extracted it all, right? But he didn't. He got one piece, and there were 2 more in there. And so not only did he have these 2 teeth, but he had what's called granulation tissue and infection, and it was just not a very pretty picture. I always ask people if they want to consider a dental implant, and if they want to save their, like me, to prepare the area so that I can put an implant in later. And the only way to do that is to clean it out thoroughly, pack bone in there, and cover it up with some collagen and stitch it up nice and wait for it to heal. And now you have bone so that there is room for an implant. And he wasn't interested in that at the time, but then later on, he came around and had us go ahead. Had us go around and do that. So now we're just waiting on healing, and we'll get a dental implant in there. But anyway, remember, the question of the day is probably going to be, what time did the email arrive from this gentleman who had early morning dental pain? Okay, and it was 5 a.m. Okay, so now let's go back to just the week in review, so to speak. We did have somebody come with one of those permanent retainers that was lucid come apart. It just went in, no big deal. We had a gentleman, we'd done gum grafting on him 4 weeks prior, and we always, the first week we take the stitches out, but you can't really tell how it's going to heal. They usually look really rough after 1 week, but I know it's going to heal from what I see. But I always want to verify, so we had him come back, and 4 weeks ago we'd done grafting, and both sites looked awesome. They looked like they'd never needed a graft, which is what we are shooting for. It's just, to me, it's very important that the end result be great, that the person be happy. If they're not happy, I offer to do a touch-up surgery if need be. But anyway, so yeah, we had some interesting things, and looking at the clock, we maybe have time for just one more before we go to a break. Let me just see what would be the next most fun one. What would be the most fun? I consider dentistry fun, folks. I know you're laughing, going, none of it is fun. My producer agrees. He goes because he has to, because his mom told him. Am I right? And every time he goes, it's like, Mom would be happy because I went to the dental appointment. Now, the next day or later in the week, we had a gentleman come in. He is absolutely terrified of the dentist. He has stayed away. He's been on again, off again, but he got off again. And we did oral sedation on him. And we have to do oral sedation on him. Otherwise, we can't work on him. And he needed 4 quadrants in his entire mouth of what's called root planing and curettage, and also some gum surgery. Because with nervous people, I know they're nervous. I know they would rather be anywhere, but they'd rather be anywhere but at the dental office, and yet they know if they don't come, they're going to lose their teeth and they're going to be toothless someday, and nobody wants that. And so we gave him oral tablets, and we give him a pretty high dose because we need him to be snookered, so to speak. And we were able to get everything done. He did need surgery on in 3 quadrants. So it was a good thing we did it that way, because he would not have been able to have the care without it because of how nervous he is. You know, it's just, it's a phobia. It's a real phobia. I understand that, and I do whatever I can to help people through it, and that, in his case, is sedation. So I do a lot of sedation. I do IV sedation, but a lot of times we can do it with oral sedation, which is much cheaper. We mix oral sedation with laughing gas, and the people are pretty darn comfortable. But every once in a while we'll start out that way because the person is hoping to save some money, for example, and I don't blame them. But if it's not working, it's not working, and then we switch to IV. So anyway, yeah, it looks like it is time for me to go to a break. And you're listening to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. And we're going to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the... You know what? I'm sorry, I got to do the question before we do this. Oh, I know what we have to do. We have to do the disclaimer. Is that what we have to do? Okay, let's do the disclaimer, then when we come back, we'll do the question of the day.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. 1 winner per household. Prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, today we are bringing you an upward look from down in the mouth. Earlier I mentioned that Friday morning I received an early morning email from a patient in pain. What time did that email arrive? Was it A, 4 a.m., B, 5 a.m., C, 6 a.m., or D, 7 a.m.? All right, the winner's going to receive free flowers from DeSantis Florist. They'll be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. The number to call is 614-459-9769. That's 614-459-9769. So go ahead and call now.
You won't believe it though. I wanna hear your mind. And there's nothing else in the world tonight. She said people don't take the time. Hey, people don't take the time.
Hi, I'm Keith Carlos, winner of America's Next Top Model and star of Chocolate City 2. Look for my smile on the big screen this summer, courtesy of Dr. Kvitko. Stay tuned to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. Did you know that you no longer need to visit several different dental professionals to get more complete dental care? We handle everything from cleanings and orthodontics to restoration, implants, and smile makeovers, all in my office. Get the most advanced technology and procedures available today. It's more complete dentistry.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
Dr. Kvitko! Let's go!
Hi, I'm I'm Johanna, and I've been a dental patient at Dr. Kvitko and Associates for over 10 years. I would really recommend Dr. Kvitko for your family's dental care. They're friendly. They're always there to help me. I feel like family when I walk in the door. It's clean, it's comfortable. Even if I have to bring my kids, they have a great playroom for them. I know when I'm with Dr. Kvitko, they are taking that extra time to make sure that I'm going to be the healthiest I can be. They've been great. I love them.
Call Dr. Kvitko and Associates today, 614-262-9588.
Hi, this is Richard Simmons. Dr. Kvitko's here, and he's going to help you with all of your problems. Are your teeth yellow? He can fix that. Are you missing a tooth? He can put a new one in. How is that?
That's very good. Thank you, Richard. Okay, we're back. We're doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day, and we have, let's go with Brian. Hey, Brian, how are you today? Do we hear Brian? Let's see. Oh, good, you're here. All right, so the question of the day is, what time did that email arrive from the patient who was in pain?
It was 5 a.m.
5 a.m. B, exactly, that's correct. Hey, Brian, what do you do for a living?
I work for the county in the water department.
Oh, cool. Okay, very cool. Appreciate what you do. Thank you so much for calling in, for listening, and please stay on the line. We want to get to those flowers from DeSantis, okay?
Thank you.
Hey, you're very welcome. All right, if you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is The Reasons We Smile. It's episode number 600 and, I'm trying to remember, 4, is it? Yeah, 604. So if you're just tuning in, you've missed the first 603 episodes, but you can always get caught up. Anyway, so what we're talking about is it's called an upward look from down in the mouth, meaning we're trying to make people think more positively about their teeth and their dental care, rather than being so afraid that they stay away. Try to demystify some of the myths and let people know that there is dentistry available that is comfortable and that you too can stand it, because I know a lot of people stay away because they either think they're going to be hurt or they have been hurt in the past. That's not what happens at my office, and so I'm very proud of that, and I want to just kind of spread that word. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're kind of talking about things that happened this last week, and we had this woman. She came in on Thursday, and a bridge had fallen off. A bridge was I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it was a 5-unit bridge. So 5 units means she's missing 3 teeth in a row, and sadly for her, one of the front one of those teeth has turned rotten. The back one's not in great shape either, but at least it wasn't completely rotten. So she needs a new bridge, and but in order for me to do that, I have to extract the remaining parts of the 2 teeth that did get rotten, the front 2, and extend her bridge even further forward, which makes it a larger bridge, which makes it more expensive than it was initially. So that wasn't great news for her, but it was great news for her that I could even do it, because she has osteoporosis, or has in the past, and she's afraid that she can't sustain an implant, that she wouldn't be able to, her body wouldn't accept an implant. So we've talked to her about making her a bigger bridge. It would be a 7-unit bridge. We'll hook onto her cuspid, which is healthy, and the one in front of it, her lateral incisor. And it'll go all the way back to her second molar, but we can do it because we have enough strong teeth there that we can support the bridge. But we took the 2 rotten teeth out, and she's going to come back, and after healing, we're going to get started on making her a new bridge. So this is like everything on her right side upper, everything she has to chew with is now gone. And it will stay gone until we put that new bridge in. So she's definitely in need of some help. Now we have this gentleman who's been coming for quite a while now because he had an impacted cuspid. It was laying sideways up kind of under his nose, completely impacted. In fact, it created a little bump on the palate. We didn't know, I don't think he even knew it was there at first. He just knew he was missing his tooth. It wasn't in his mouth. And we were able to surgically uncover it, pull it down by putting an orthodontic bracket on it. We've been pulling it down with elastics for the last year. His is a relatively more involved one. And then we now have it in place, and now all we're doing is putting the lateral incisor, the one that's next to it, and the central incisor, the one next to it, in position to kind of get everything lined up. So he's been a long-term ortho patient, but we've come a long way. We can definitely see another maybe a month or 2, and he'll be done, and it's pretty rewarding to be able to do that for somebody. if we stay on the same vein of orthodontics, we have this woman that we had started orthodontics to just kind of straighten up some somewhat crooked teeth. They weren't really bad. And then she was in a car accident. And in trying to intubate her, the physician, first of all, wrenched her teeth and made them really a lot more crooked than they started out. And if that wasn't bad enough, she had a relapse, had some scar tissue growing in and around her airway in her throat, and they had to go back in almost as an emergency. And this time when they intubated her, they actually broke her lateral incisor. And so we've had to now take out that half tooth, the root, and get the orthodontics, get her teeth kind of straightened up again. We're not quite done. We'll have to place an implant once we are ready, once there's enough healing. But she's actually having kind of a reveal, a coming out party. Is it this month? I think it's this month. It might be September. She's invited me and all of her physicians to come to and celebrate her recovery, and it's going to be kind of fun. And I'm very happy that she's including me and my staff. So she said, if you're a physician or a nurse or one of the people that have cared for me, feel free to come in your clinic attire. So I think she wants the medical professionals that have worked with her to kind of stand out in the crowd when we're at this party. So I'm honored that she's invited us, and I have every intention of going, and I think a couple of my dental assistants are going to go. So it's fun, folks. There's a lot of rewarding moments being a dentist, even though for the most part people wonder, how can you be a dentist because nobody likes you? My family likes me, the best I can tell. But no, we like to take something that is a negative and turn it into a positive, and that's the genesis of the oral sedation and the IV sedation that I do. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Looking at the clock, it looks like I need to go to a break. You're listening to The Reasons We Smile, episode 604, and we'll be right back.
You can't take me as I am, not just a little bit. I don't know who to be. I'm a paper cup, baby, of the sea. I know you see it too, 'cause you're too much for me.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dr. Kvitko.
Estás escuchando con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su sección favorita.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call us 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. I've been honored to help several famous people get a perfect smile, like Keith Carlos and Dominique Reigard from America's Next Top Model, and Ted the Golden Voice Williams from right here in Columbus. Isn't it time you had a celebrity smile? It costs less than you might think, and most of the time, it can be done in one visit. A new smile can make a world of difference.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
We're back. I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is The Reasons We Smile. It's episode 604. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. We are streaming live on Facebook. If you're one of the folks that want to maybe watch the show, you'll see the side of my funny face over here. We also had this week, there's a professional lacrosse team in town called the Columbus Crows, and they play at Nationwide Arena Ice House, and they their season is underway, and I'm making mouth guards for them, those players that want it. So I've had 3 of the players come in so far. We're making them these custom mouth guards. It's an interesting kind of a side story because a lot of professional athletes stop wearing them when they don't have to, when they're not required by rule, because they don't fit. They say they can't breathe, and I told them that the ones I make aren't like that. The ones I make sure they're there's a lot of room for their tongue to move and for their airway. It doesn't take that much longer to make them correctly, but it's just a few things. But the reality is a lot of times this process is delegated to staff who don't really understand a few of those minor principles, and so they don't like them and they don't wear them. So the general manager, who is also a player of the Crows, came in, and I said, let me make you one, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And not too long after, for the very first game that he wore it, he said he wore it the entire game. He could talk, he could call out calls, instructions, and he did great. He did happen to leave it out for the last 5-6 minutes, and he said it felt really vulnerable. He really preferred having it in. So in just one game, he's been converted. So a couple other Crows players came in this week, and we made impressions and made mouth guards for them. If you're an athlete, I highly recommend that you wear a mouth guard. You really want to protect that smile. You want to make sure that you're going to, if you have the mouth guard in when you get hit, there's a good chance you won't fracture the tooth. You can still do damage with a mouth guard. It's not made out of bulletproof vest material, but it is something that's going to help you out a lot. So any athlete should be wearing one. And if you're not able to wear, and by the way, the boil and bite doesn't work. There's this product he told me that the Crows have been using where it's hard, and you put it in water and you put it in your mouth and it molds, and you can keep redoing it and keep redoing it. But if you have to keep your mouth closed to wear it, to keep it in, it's not gonna work, because when you get popped in the head or popped in the chin, your mouth flies open, and there goes your mouth guard, goes out. So if you're a parent with a child that's an athlete, you should look into having a mouth guard made for them. We're happy to make them. Try to keep it as reasonably priced as we can, but it is important. It's a lot cheaper than an extraction or a crown or a bridge or an implant, because there's been damage because they weren't wearing a mouth guard. That's pretty easy to figure out, isn't it? Yeah, so good luck to the Crows. And okay, so then let's get on to some of the other things that we saw this past week. I have 3 minutes to go, so I'll have to speak quickly. One was follow-up from removing impacted wisdom teeth on a young man. And his was interesting because he does not have great veins. We couldn't find a vein very easily, and of course when you're trying to start an IV, that can be unpleasant for people. So what I did was I gave him oral sedatives first, so that he would be a little bit snookered. We turned on the nitrous oxide, and I didn't want to hurt him, or I didn't want him to be unpleasant. So then what I did was I gave him I gave him some of the drugs intramuscularly to get it into his system, and then when we got it to where it looked like he was snookered or almost snookered, then I did take the time to find a vein and get my IV started, and gave him the rest of the drugs through the IV. But the reality is, since my goal is to make sure people don't feel it and that they're comfortable, it doesn't matter to me what route that is, as long as I've accomplished the plan, which is to have them be super comfortable during this, what can be a scary appointment. So when he came back for me to take out the stitches, after taking out his wisdom teeth a week prior, I asked him, how was it? And he says it was fine, it was great. In fact, he didn't even realize we were having all the issues trying to get him going, because the oral drugs and then the IM drugs pretty much did it for him. So that was pretty neat to know. So, but you know what? If you're listening and you're just, what's the word I'm looking for? You're wondering, why am I telling you these stories? I'm telling you these stories so that you will know that dentistry doesn't have to be scary. Doesn't matter how long you've stayed away because you are afraid. You don't even have to admit that you're afraid. But I have ways of making sure that you get through the process comfortably, in a way that you will come back and happily come back and get the rest of your teeth taken care of. And it's so much cheaper to take care of your teeth before they are rotten than it is to wait until they are rotten. Okay? So if you're listening and you're one of those nervous Nellies, you're just afraid of the dentist, you won't admit it out loud, your friends don't know, your family doesn't know, you're the only one that knows you haven't been, you should give my office a call. And I don't usually do a commercial like this. I'm going to tell you that our phone number is 614-262-9588. All right? Just give us a call and you'll see that there is a big difference. All right, so I'm getting the sign that it looks like we are pretty much out of time. So let me just do that end stuff, the end stuff, which is, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's at Dr. Kvitko. And please go to my office Facebook page and like us. That would be awesome. It's Dr. Kvitko and Associates. Also, remember that all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com. Be sure to tune in next week and every week right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to thereasonswesmile.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you'd like Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist, to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588, or send it